Are you guys ready for this?
All right.
Time for game 4. Take it away, sir.
Here we go. Slayer's Gonzi is going to be our blue Terran over at the 6 o'clock spawn on Metalopolis. And his opponent at the 9 o'clock is going to be our yellow Terran, Empire.Kas, who's currently up 2-1 in this best of 9 series for Fight Club. There's a $500 prize purse on the line, and each time a player wins consecutively in the Fight Club, he adds a $100 bounty to his head. And then whoever takes him out gets that accumulated bounty and the additional $500.
Not to mention that Gonzi beat Sheth, who was a 4-time, I believe, champion, which meant that when he won that game, you know how much money he took down?
$300.
No,
$800 total.
No. Wasn't it 900? No, it was.
$800 total.
It was 300. So $800 for a best of 9.
It's not bad.
If somebody offered me that much money every time I could play StarCraft, I would take that in a heartbeat.
It's not bad for a best.
It's like $100 a game, man.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. I think we would quit our jobs as casters just to play.
Indeed.
But that's why the pressure is really on both these players, because they know if they can take or retain the crown, they continue to get shots at winning the continuous $500. And Fight Club is not like Team Arena, because Team Arena, there's only so many teams. Fight Club, there's many, many players. So you really only get one shot here before you get a second chance. It takes a long time before you get a second chance at IPL Fight Club.
Yeah, indeed. It will take quite a bit of time because there's just so many players out there that are extremely talented.
It's quite possible you might not even get a second chance.
I mean, you probably will at some point, but it's definitely going to take some time. Just because, you know, we want to keep the players within a certain level of caliber, but then again, there are a lot of players of that caliber. There's easily probably 30 to 40, so...
And the players who are playing right now, I mean, I can just imagine Kas's eyes right now. He's like, man, if I win this, I get $500, and I get to continue to win $500 every time I win the next week. That's insane.
Yeah, that's not
I mean,
bad.
if you keep winning every week, that's $2,000 a month. You could make a living off of it.
I mean, you could.
Sheth was kind of on the way to do that.
He certainly was, but Gonzi ended that.
Yeah.
He put a stop to that real quick.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of implied value here.
Hey.
Very fast command center.
Interesting. Well, the way Gonzi opened up, man, he can get a Banshee in there real quick, so Kas is going to have to crank out the Marines as fast as possible. Gas first coming out of Gonzi. The factory's already on its way down.
This could actually be pretty bad for Kas. I mean, given that they've close air spawn, that Banshee's going to be up in the mix very quickly. It looks like the SCV gets in the scout, though. So Kas knows what is coming. That's going to help him prepare accordingly, but he's not only going to have to start producing Marines pronto, but he's also got to worry about the potential for Cloak. Did he see this? I don't know if he saw the second geyser. It looks like he did. So I guess he can kind of rule out Cloak right now.
Still, though, that Banshee's going to get in there so fast, and he's only going to have a handful of Marines to fight it off. He needs those extra Raxes up and producing Marines as soon as possible. There are Raxes 2 and 3 right now. He only has 3 Marines down on the field as we speak, getting his 4th right now.
And how many Marines is he actually going to need to kill off a Banshee? Remember that Banshees can micro against Marines, too.
Yeah, 5 or 6, I would say.
And you need to micro them as well.
Yeah, and you need to kind of catch the Banshee on the way in as well and do some significant damage to it. If the Banshee gets in full and is allowed to start kiting your Marines, I mean, I'd be very interested to see what the actual amount of Marines that you need would really be.
We have a troll in the window. Somebody is trolling us hard. That's like how I trolled you and Kevin earlier.
Yeah, for sure. You got me with that, absolutely. They've been trolling us all day, man. They've been getting us all day out there. It's like Christmas. The Christmas spirit is in the office.
Christmas holidays, for sure.
Everybody's happy that they're going to be getting a week off, for sure.
We're all getting a week
robbed
off,
from
man.
Devastation. Trolling hard.
Well, you know what, Pete?
We need to get like a black screen that we can just put up in front of the window there, so nobody can actually see us.
That would limit us from the outside world. I don't want to be closed into a blackened room.
We already are.
That's kind of true.
Yeah. It would actually help us concentrate.
It's like a peninsula in this room. 3 walls closed in and only 1 window out.
Indeed.
All right, man. Here comes the Banshee from Gonzi. And
Kas should have enough Marines.
Yeah, there's a missile turret coming up as well, and there's 5 Marines. Oh, there's so many Marines out here already. So it looks like the Banshee may get a couple of kills. It'll be pretty minimal, though, as long as these missile turrets can get up. And it looks like they're on their way. Meanwhile, it looks like something died over here at the natural. And the workers killed so far, not that good for Gonzi.
Oh, he almost takes out that Banshee, down to 38 hit points. That Banshee will have to retreat. 1 worker killed. So the Banshee really didn't do that much. Kas does have his expansion up and running. He doesn't have any gas just yet. And we'll just have to see how Gonzi decides to follow this up. He did drop a command center very early on. and that's going to be finished, so he will be able to catch up ever so slightly in the economic game, and he's also going to be ahead in tech, and he will be able to repair that Banshee and go back in on consecutive runs. And there's really nothing that Kas can do to stop that for quite some time. He's not going to have stim anytime soon. He's not going to have combat shield. So this Banshee is really going to be so effective. He just needs to use it properly and do a little bit more damage this time around.
The only thing that's really hindering that Banshee is the massive amount of turrets we have. I really like the placement, actually. Kas has one in the south, one in the middle, one in the north covering the ramp, and actually he has one over here at the north of the natural as well. So it really looks like he's got perfect missile turret placement to really cover almost every area from really any kind of air attack.
Ooh, and Gonzi's found a sweet spot here. Oh, he's going to take a lot of damage, though.
That Banshee is going to pull away, though. The Marines don't quite have stim yet. In fact, stim just started.
Yeah, stim's not going to be done for quite some time.
Yeah, and you really do need stim to kind of catch up those Banshees. Otherwise, you're just kind of trying to give chase, but the Banshees are quite fast.
Does he have Blue Flame?
Whoa, look at, yeah, Gonzi coming in here with the quickness.
I don't know if he has Blue Flame or not.
It's a little bit hard to tell right now because there's no tack lab on a factory, but we're about to see once those Hellions land down, and they do have Blue Flame.
Alright, so here we go. Blue Flame is ready.
Oh, he runs into the Marines!
Huge mistake there from Gonzi. Yeah. Runs directly into the Marines. Doesn't really do that much damage at all. Does some hull damage to the Marines, but they will be able to heal that up once they get a medevac out, and stim and combat shield are coming, so these Marines are just going to be incredibly effective. And I think that the turret placement for Kas here is just perfect.
Yeah.
Going to intercept that Banshee coming into the natural. It will get, quick reactions there from Gonzi.
Wow, that was really fast.
Saves that Banshee. Unbelievable.
So kind of makes up a little bit for his slow reaction on the Hellions, and he only lost 2, so it wasn't too bad. But still kind of shutting down the play so far is Kas, and 2 Hellions now dropping off. It looks like, I like this play, but it's unable to do any damage. He was trying to use the medevac to spot the high ground as the Hellions would basically burst as an arc up to the high ground. But it didn't work out too well for him. And now it looks like Gonzi is starting to kind of relocate and re-strategize his infrastructure here. He's got siege mode on the way. Also getting a Raven out of that starport. Ravens are quite handy in Terran versus Terran. Things are certainly looking to stabilize a little bit in this TVT matchup.
Yeah, they're especially good in mech versus bio. And Kas looks to be moving out here. He's got a huge push coming, and it might actually hit before siege is done. Gonzi really doesn't have anything to hold this off. He has hardly any units. I don't think he will be able to hold it off, actually. And he has a full wall at the main, so he's really going to take no damage from this Blue Flame Hellion drop. Look at that. The main is fully walled off, and he has Marauders in position and ready to hold that off. Wow, very nice positioning there from Kas.
Yeah, you know, Kas has been placing really good turrets, really smart, covers all the air. He's also been walling in, as you said before. Everything just looks so crisp from Kas, and now he's threatening the front door. Now, he doesn't have siege mode, but he stims everything up, and he's going to pick off that bunker almost instantly. Now going to work his way in, and of course the tanks are on siege mode now. All the SCVs are getting pulled off the line. A tank goes down on the ramp as it was sieging up, and a bunch of SCVs getting destroyed right here from Kas. And Kas, is he going to pull away? It looks like he's going to stick and fight, but he did get quite a few SCVs kills there, about 14.
Yeah, he certainly did. And he caught himself up and pulled ahead in the economic game 100%, but he did lose quite a few units. He lost quite a bit of his army, and now, you know, Kas is only ahead. He's actually behind in supply now. 89 to 87, 91 now to 89. So Gonzi really pulling ahead there, I feel, by quite a bit with his ability to kill all those units. He did lose 14 harvesters. He is down now by quite a bit, but his next attack will be pretty powerful, and I don't know if Kas will be able to hold it off.
Yeah, it's pretty important here considering that he lost a lot of SCVs, but he won in terms of army, for him to make a counter now and try to equalize things a little bit. And he's doing just that. He's going to kill off this turret. It looks like he saves the Banshee at the very last second, Pain User, and he sieges up. We saw this in Game 1 on Antigua Shipyard. Gonzi beginning to shell out the reactors and all the important add-ons for the Terran player. That's very, very annoying for Terrans to deal with. They're going to really hinder their production. And Gonzi now is lifting off his Blue Flame Hellions, but at the same time, it looks like Kas is going to stem everything up. He's going to try to get the flank on these tanks. It doesn't, I don't know if he's got enough forces. Yes, he does. He's going to clear up all the tanks. Really smart play from Kas, and it looks like Gonzi pulls out with the remaining Banshees. So, you know, Kas doing some damage there, but it looks like Gonzi doing some damage here, but it looks like Kas pulling ahead in the army now.
Yeah, Kas is really good about positioning his units in order to break those siege lines. And he didn't make the same mistakes that he made in Game 1, where he kind of let Gonzi massed up tanks after that Marauder proxy, and then he had 6 tanks before Kas really had anything. This time around, Kas had more than enough to crush that tank push.
Yeah.
And there were only 2 tanks there, oddly enough. You would have expected more tanks at a push around that time frame.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point, considering that really Gonzi has been sitting quite fine this entire game, and he's got 3 factories, but his tank count is really, really low. In fact, let's go ahead and look at how many tanks he's got right now. He has got 4 tanks on the field, so he does have a considerable amount, especially considering Kas has no tanks. But we've actually seen Terran players use this before, just an all-out bio build in the early to the mid stages of Terran versus Terran against a tank build. And it doesn't work out too badly.
No, it doesn't. You need to expand aggressively and continuously add Raxes, and just not be afraid to trade and drop, and just get buck naked and just run around all over the map. Just be dropping everywhere, be hitting different positions, be stimming into the natural. You just really have to think about utilizing your mobility to the fullest of its potential and trying to shut down your opponent.
Yeah, and trying to use the lack of mobility from the enemy Terran. It looks like Gonzi here sticking with the mech hardcore. He's actually got a Thor on the way right now from that factory. So he's going to try to, where is that Thor? There it is. So Thor on the way. Looks like Kas here preparing to strike, though, into the natural. All the tanks are unsieged, or at least some of the tanks are unsieged. Is Kas going to commit here? I don't know if that's the wisest decision, because now all the tanks are sieged up, Pain User.
Yep.
And as soon as those Marines and Marauders walk into this death zone, they will get obliterated.
Yeah, the tank line has been established. Too bad it's right outside Gonzi's base. Gonzi, oh, here comes the double drop around the back. This is going to be serious problems for Gonzi to deal with. He just doesn't have his forces in position, and they're all going to get funneled through. Oh, no.
And look, he's actually poising all of these units on the right side, hoping to bait all the forces back into the main and then strike into the natural. Will he be able to do so? He's actually walking in right here. He's going to load up into the 2 medevacs, but there are some tanks left behind from Gonzi. Gonzi just playing really smartly, realizing, hey, if I pull all my forces, that will leave my natural vulnerable. And oh my god, Kas is going to drop over the tanks, but I don't think this is going to work out.
No, neither do I. I think that was a really risky move on his part. He is keeping the tank count down, but he's losing so much.
He's going to actually trap some of these forces with the SCVs. I really like that play from Gonzi. And Gonzi, I think, pulling a little bit back into this game after the missed drop, I think, from Kas.
Yeah, I agree. Kas kind of throwing away 2 full medevacs worth of units right there, and that's no joke, especially at the 17-minute mark. I mean, that's a lot of resources invested in Army right there that he just kind of abruptly lost. So yeah, he's definitely going to have to make up those losses.
Well, you know, he's still pretty far ahead in this game, actually. If you look at the supplies and the economy, things are looking pretty bright for Kas. But really, I feel like Kas has got to start getting some tanks out on the field. In the late game, I think tanks are just totally essential in Terran versus Terran.
What's he adding in as natural? Just 1 billion more Raxes?
Yeah, it looks like he's just adding. He's going to stick totally on bio, man.
Wow.
And
2 more starports.
So it looks like he's going to get a bunch of medevacs out. But I feel like in the late game of Terran versus Terran, you just got to have tanks.
Yeah, I agree. Tanks in the late game are essential. Especially on this map where you can just split it in half so easily and set up siege tank lines, grab the gold. Not only that, for working your opponent's gold, and then also cut-ins on this map are so good if you cut into the main and start ferrying up there and just camp all the production facilities. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You really need tanks to execute maneuvers like that. It's just too hard to do it with bio, and they don't have enough range.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, you know, even if Kas decided to do that medevac bomb that we saw him try to do before, well, guess what? There's a ton of Vikings in the air, so the medevacs will get shut down very quickly. And, you know, while Kas has a bunch of advantages right now working for him, the one thing that isn't working, like I said before, is that tank count. He just doesn't have any tanks on the field. In fact, let's pull up the unit tab. He doesn't have a single tank at all in this game.
Ouch.
I don't even know if he's research siege mode, man.
No, he's just going all-out mass bio. 100%.
Well, he does have quite a few upgrades, 1-2 right now. And Gonzi is at 2 weapons as well on the mech. So Gonzi pretty much staying toe for toe on those upgrades. I don't think Kas can push any further than this line right here, because those tanks will just, like I said before, obliterate the Marines and Marauders.
Yeah, they really will. They won't even be close.
Yeah. So really,
Kas's army is very fragile, and he needs to be very careful with it.
What do you think Kas can do at this point if he's going to rock all out?
Counter, backstab, drop. That's really his only hope. He has to be continuously dropped. I know he lost those 4 medevacs, but he's really got to keep it up and keep it going. And he should transition into tanks. There's no question about it. He should definitely transition back into tanks.
He's actually transitioning into battle cruisers, it looks like.
So he's going to try and take air superiority back and switch over to BCs.
That could be interesting. It might work out for him if you're not going to go tanks. And hey, go Sky Terran, and battlecruisers aren't half bad at dealing with the massive amount of mech on the ground. And it looks like Kas here moving to the right gets some of his forces shelled by one tank up at the front and only gets 2 kills, but it does weaken some of these Marines. And oh my God, Kas is going to walk up into the third here, but there's no command center here, so it's really a bait. And I think Kas is walking into a huge trap right now.
Well, I mean, he may or may not be. He's just trying to deny that third. Is he going to be able to get back? I don't think so. And oh my God, he's forced to stim his entire army here, trying to run by this CC. I don't know if that's the right idea.
Oh, this could be.
He's going to get into the natural here.
Is he going to just go for a straight up race here? The tanks are out of position. He's trying to shell up, siege up the tanks right now. Is Gonzi? He picks off the natural command center, not bad right now, but all of his army is going to get obliterated and tucked into the bottom right-hand corner of the map. His forces are annihilated.
Oh my God. He does have 1 billion Raxes though, so he can make this back, but
do you think it was worth it?
Oh no, absolutely not.
For 2 command centers?
And now Gonzi has the gold up. He's had the gold up this whole time. So he can just continually mule there and spend a lot of his time and effort just holding on to that gold position on Metalopolis, which is so good. And look at the harvester count. Is that 84 to 40?
Yeah.
So Gonzi actually has a huge army right now. His army is enormous.
I don't know if Kas can stop this army. He will be able to pick off a couple of tanks at the front as they were out of position, but a couple of tank kills here or there aren't really going to help him out in terms of the big battle that's about to unfold before our eyes. Now, all these tanks are going to siege up for Gonzi. Yes, they will. And man, this is going to be so hard for Kas to stop. Kas, has more economy, more production, more everything but tanks, and this is going to cost him dearly.
Yeah, it is going to cost him dearly. He can't repel those tanks. That's just too much firepower to repel with bio.
Can't repel firepower of that magnitude.
It's a trap. General coverage.
I had to do it. All right, man. Well,
our star cruisers can't repel firepower of that magnitude.
It's the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Yes.
Strike me down.
Yes. I think that's the first time we've quoted that together. You must have recently watched it.
Yes, I have been watching Star Wars. Catching up.
So it's nice to brush up on your Star Wars. You can't ever do that too much. Well, Gonzi is just absolutely ripping Kas apart here. He's just camping the production. He's working his way into the main. We have a ton of Marauders coming out for Kas. He's actually killing a bunch of the tanks, but he has no air superiority here. There's a ton of Banshees and Vikings in the air. I hope he doesn't land those Vikings because they'll all go down.
Well, it looks like he's going to have to run away with these Vikings right now, so...
You know what? Kas could win this.
Somehow, some way. Yeah, I was going to say that. Kas just destroyed that
all those tanks.
Yeah.
That was like 15 tanks.
Well, you know what he did? Is
sitting here talking about Star Wars and all of a sudden...
You know what he did? Is he massed up an army...
He's got BC
Yeah, he got one BC out. He massed up an army up here, he massed up an army down here, and then he just waited, and patiently waited, and then crushed in from both sides like a machine, and he just destroyed all those tanks.
Also known as a flank.
Yes. I think
advanced StarCraft tactic.
Kas is actually going to pull way ahead in this game.
That's possible.
Without building a single tank at all. That is really crazy.
Yeah, I think he is too. I would agree.
This is just unheard of.
Unprecedented.
Yeah. So Gonzi here pulling the
lag card.
The lag card. I'm in the Korean region. You're
he does have a point though.
But were these games played on the North American server? Because if that's the case, then a Kas actually playing from Europe would have some lag as well.
I agree.
Oh, there's a GG.
Oh,
wow! Just gives up.
There it is.
Wow. So an all bio build working out for Kas.